welcome along to the most in-depth performance-based analysis and head-to-head comparison of these two drivers that you will find anywhere on YouTube. And that is the brand new TSR3 driver going up against the older TSi3 driver. Now, I hope you're as excited as I am for this one. I cannot wait to see the results. So let's do it. So good. Carry. Oh, that is big. Wow. There we go. That was ripped. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Still actually a little bit low, but the 118 club, 170 ball, 144 efficiency, 40 noughts, 21 backspin, 311 carry, rolling out to 340. Like I said, good luck, TSR. So first off, please do consider subscribing. I do put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and I know they may not be the most exciting videos in the world, but I put a lot of time to try and make sure I get unbiased and honest data and reviews across to you so you can make better informed decisions. And it really does mean a lot to me when I see those subscriber count growing. It kind of spurs me on, motivates me a bit more. And we've got a lot more coming, especially with the TSR metalwoods as well. We've got 2 versus 3 that's going to be coming. I'm going to get 4 as well and probably do 4 versus 3. We've got the fairway woods as well to come and review. Like, so much more to come, and God knows what else, loads. So please do subscribe. So welcome back down to Elite Performance Golf Studios, and today I am super excited for this video as we have the brand new TSR metals in-house ready for some in-depth testing. And today, kicking off the string of videos we will be doing, is the TSR3 driver, the new TSR3 driver from Titleist, going up against the old TSi3 driver from Titleist. Now, a quick rundown of what this video is going to be before we jump into it. We're going to be looking at everything from looks, sound, feel, and mainly performance. Now, there's a lot of YouTube videos, and it always kind of glosses over the characteristics of forgiveness, of ball speed retention, spin retention, all those kind of things. So what I really want to try and do in this test, it's going to be a long video, is quantify those points. How much more forgiving is it? How much better actually is it? Can we quantify it rather than just saying it's more forgiving? I want to know why. So as I said, it's going to be quite a long, in-depth video. I'm going to be showing you a lot of shots. So if you're not interested in like shot-by-shot breakdown, looking at strike, looking at kind of ball speed, spin retention, misses, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to time code it along the bottom. So you'll be able to skip. I'm going to time code individually like looks, feel, and then obviously the numbers, breaking that down at the end and how they compare, and then the summary as well, summing it all up at the end. So feel free to skip through if you don't want to watch me hit a absolute load of shots. But it's going to be, like I said, more of a performance-based test. I'm not really going to be talking tech, although you would have thought maybe that's one thing that I should be doing on this channel. I've kind of tried, I've watched a couple of videos, but there's so many. If you want to see, Crossfield went to Titleist and TXG went to Titleist, and they're all breaking down kind of the differences in these drivers, and that's great. Like, I really appreciate the R&D, the development, the amount of time and money and resources that goes into making these drivers. But what I want to find out for you is, what does it actually mean? What does it do in terms of a result-based performance? Because that's really what matters. So that is what we're going to do. Right, so we're diving straight into it, straight into the performance section as we go through. I'll just dip back and forward. We'll talk about looks and feel as we go through. First up, the TSI3. Now, obviously, these are going to be the same loft at the same setting with my shaft. So Ventus Black 5X, both 9-degree heads, both set at C1, both of the weight in the same position. And as I said, I'm not 100% sure how many I'm going to show you or how many I'm going to hit, but I'm going to hit a lot. And I'm probably going to show you quite a lot. Just in terms of really trying to get a true reflection of how these clubs perform head to head. Good swings, bad swings, you name it. That was an okay swing to start with, I must say. Felt like I got a little bit out of shape, but certainly not going to grumble. It's just always like the one thing that I hoped with the TSR3 was that maybe they made it a little lower spin. I always just get a fraction more spin than I'd like with this head. And again, to be fair, this is 9 turned down. They do an 8, which obviously I could get and turn down. Interestingly, I've been dabbling a little bit with the TSR2, which also, they offer an 8-degree head in that now, which I think is a class move from Titleist. And the TSR2 versus TSR3 video I'm going to do, that's going to be interesting. So yeah, as I said, the whole kind of concept of this video is trying to do it more in depth from a performance-based standpoint, see how it really performs on miss hits, see what is the difference. Is it better? How much better do I think it is? And again, it's going to be very hard to quantify that through data points. It's going to be more of my opinion as we go through and giving you examples. But yeah, I mean, the TSI, whew, what a driver that is. Like, good luck to the TSR. See, that was not good. That was not a good strike. Look at that shot. I believe that was a little high toe. Yep. 3 mil high, 8 mil toe, but still look at that, like 144 efficiency. Unreal. 14 launch, 2200 spin. The one benefit of having something that maybe spins a little bit more out the middle is when you do catch it kind of off the high, high on the face, really high toe, and we're expecting that spin to kind of drop and maybe kind of get a little bit more curvature, especially right to left. It gives you almost perfect launch conditions. And the one thing that I always really surprised with this head was the efficiency on miss hits. So how much ball speed you get out of miss hits has always been super impressive. But neither of those felt like particularly good swings, if I'm honest, and the results are unreal. That was horrendous. Like, that was absolutely abysmal. Yes. That was very bad. I don't know what really happened there, but I nearly missed that. That's going to be a hard one to quantify, as in, that was very bad. Like, super low heel. Actually, it's only gone 29 yards offline, which, in all honesty, is still pretty good. All right, it's only gone 250, but yeah, that was bad. That was very, very bad. That was a much better strike. Still got this weird little fade going on at the minute. So again, I don't mind. It's not that far offline. 290 carry. Really nice. Really nice. And from a field perspective, yeah, a little bit low heel, tiny bit low heel. I see that spin just creep up, like from 168 ball speed to 90 carry. I'd like a little more, but from a field perspective, this driver just, yeah, it's so nice. Like, just, as I said, I kind of put this away. All of last year, this was my kind of go-to driver, I guess, for tests. And obviously, when new stuff comes out, it's my job to really dive in and test that. So Cobra, Stealth, Callaway. And then I kind of come back to this now that the TSR's coming about and kind of coming back to it to test it. And you just realize how much of a good driver it really, really is. Like, it is just, it's just so solid. I can't strike it, but like, it's ones like that really, like the one before, that was horrendous. Like, that was just a really bad swing. But that is not much better. But again, I mean, if you look at that, that was so low heel. Felt horrendous. And what we got? 19 yards offline, 143 efficiency, basically 280 carry. I mean, unreal. So interesting how my swing changes. Like having a quad is like, it's good and bad, but it's bad because I'm very skillful when it comes to changing my swing, changing the concept, changing what I'm trying to do. Like when I was warming up, 10 out of 10 was way left. And I've just hit every single one of them right. It's because I'm trying to change the feel, trying to change more like that rather than more like that. And I'm catching it a bit low heel and seeing that fade. Oh, golf. How we don't love you. Right. Same again. Terrible shot. Right, bad strike. I mean, again, it's just done the same thing. It's just not a good. I'll get a good one in a minute, maybe. You can see straight away, look at that strike pattern. Really low in the heel, like terrible. Again, it's 14 yards offline at 200. Well, that one landed in the fairway, so it rolled down to 300. Carry 275. It's just. Right, I'm going to switch up the swing a little bit on this one. See if we can't change that pattern a little bit. The strike was actually better. The strike was better. Still a little right, but it does feel so good when you get out of the middle. So good. That was actually Healy. Actually Healy. Right, come on. We need to get an actual centre strike. Would be lovely. There we go. That's the one. That was really good. That's the one that I look at in the fit and go, yeah, that's how that would perform when you put the right swing on it, the right strike on it. Actually, the numbers are pretty decent. Really good delivery. Better strike, 14 launch, 23, almost 2400 spin, 144 efficiency, 303 carry. Yeah, I mean, that was a bad example of some, well, just some bad shots really, but good luck TSR. Right, so touching on looks, I mean, you can see it's a very similar concept, that very kind of modern, sleek, almost space agey kind of look that they had in the TSi3, and they've actually done a remarkable job of kind of just even sleekening it up even more, I would say. It's cleaner, the lines are nice, it's actually got less going on, which I think is great. And it's just, yeah, I mean, you gotta say, it's just sexy, isn't it? It's just like, what a good looking driver. Like, who would not want to pull that out of their bag? Like, even like I mentioned, the weight track as a beautiful little addition, just looks like it just sits in the head much nicer, it's finished much nicer, little notches where the weight sits in. I mean, even like where the screw goes in, it's kind of like smaller and just sleeker. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's a better looking driver. The TSi3 is great, but the TSR3, yeah, lovely, lovely little update. And it just looks so sleek. Obviously, still got the same ATI face, I believe. Again, I legitimately haven't looked at any of the tech on these drivers because before I did the review, I just want to do this. Just ultimately see what it does. Like, because that's what you're going to experience, that's what I'm going to experience in here, out on course. That's what matters to us. Again, I will touch on it down by the ball as well, but we'll do it a little bit briefly now as well. I'll show you the view from above. Yeah, it's a very, very similar shape, very classic shape, very Titleist, still got the gloss black going on. I mean, it actually almost weirdly looks a little bit more compact. I don't know if it's because the TSR's new, shiny and cleaner. It does look just a tiny bit more compact looking at it, but yeah, the shape's still the same. Classic Titleist look, just, yeah, looks unreal. Right, jumping into the TSR3. So in terms of the first set that I hit there, I'm only going to delete one, because that was that one I hit like literally 247 yards, which is probably one of the worst swings I've made in quite a while, so that's a bit unfair. I'm only going to delete that one though. That was pretty good in all honesty. Got to carry the rough. That's not going to carry the rough, is it? Go on. Oh, that was close. That was close. That would have bounded on down there. That was a great strike. Slightly toe side. Really love those numbers. Great 146 efficiency. Okay, all right. Don't see 2 minute 146, being honest. I mean, yeah, that just felt great. Like, do I feel a difference between that and the TSI? Straight off the bat, it's so hard to say. They're both such good feeling drivers. But yeah, I mean, 146 efficiency, 12.5 launch, 23 spin. That's it's good. Obviously, like I said, same shaft. I'm just taking it out of the TSI, plugged it straight into TSR. Same 9-degree head, same C1 setting. Exactly the same. That was very, very good. That was not very good. That'd be interesting to see, because that was basically the same as one of the ones that I hit with the TSI. Maybe slightly worse. We've got spin crept up a little bit more on it. At least this is going to be a very fair test of these heads today. Again, we see a similar sort of thing, right? Spin pops up to 28. That efficiency, though, that's quite surprising. Oh, 143. Yeah, okay, I think I've got it on average on there. You change that. Always does this automatically sometimes. Yeah, okay, last, there we go. Thought it was 144, that would have been really impressive. 143 is still strong, still very strong. 163, 13, 33. Obviously, we're going to see that spin climb up, but again, 16 yards offline. I mean, that is just never getting him in any trouble. It's always my big thing with driver. Right. Oh, that felt good. That was right out the middle. Just need it to be like 5 yards more right. Again, I think that is exactly the same spin number I read a minute ago. 2384, was it? Could have been identical. Again, 144 efficiency. Launched up a bit, hit up a bit more maybe on that one, but it's just good, isn't it? The whole question is it better? That's the question that we need to try and answer. And I mean, let's be honest, I guess most people are already going to know this. Like, the TSI is phenomenal. So if this is even marginally better in any way, Titleist have probably outdone themselves. Because I think the TSI is one of the best drivers I think I've ever seen, hit, tested. Like, it's so good. There's not, I said, for me personally, wouldn't mind it being marginally lower spin, but the forgiveness, the kind of ball speed retention on misshits, the lack of curvature on misshits, as we've seen, I've hit some horrendous shots already, very low heel, kept easily in play, even probably on tight holes. The TSI is phenomenal. Like, so if this is even marginally better, they've done extremely well. Underneath that one a little bit. Again, it's just necky. But I mean, it's just a bit of a rubbish swing and like not out the middle. Man, it's good. Yeah, again, low heel. 143 efficiency, really good. Spin pops up a bit to 28. I don't expect that. Oh my God, that was ripped, but it just pulled a little bit. Yeah, still not bad. Such a good strike there. It does feel so solid out the middle. So solid. Oh, it was actually a touch low. Okay, wow. So yeah, again, 146 efficiency. It's slightly low, so low in the head is always very, very efficient in terms of the kind of transference of energy through strike. But one thing about that, with it being low, spun at 2300, and I know it's a little bit of a left kind of draw, which always spins low anyway, but typically we would see the spin pop up a little bit on low strike. So that for me there is, that's very, very impressive. In terms of sound and kind of feel, I'm going to hit one more with the TSR, and then I'm going to quickly flick back into the TSI. Let's see what we see. Again, that was a little low, but ain't going to grumble, are you? 290 plus carry. Really good ball speed there. Yeah, strike pattern pretty similar. Efficiency is just always good, isn't it? Like, I don't think I've seen anything under 143, even on a miss hit. Whereas someone quite rightly did point out a little while ago to me in regards to the Cobra that I always used, Could swing it faster, definitely. I bet if I put a Cobra head on this shaft now, I could probably swing it faster, but the efficiency was always slightly down. Whereas this is just so efficient through strike. I was flicking back quickly into the TSI then, going back to back to back, kind of just to really see if there is any looks, feel, sound difference. I mean, that looks, personally, it's just so similar, aren't they? Like from above, so similar. Not really anything in that at all for me, which again, not a surprise. Classic Titleist, don't want to change classic Titleist, because it is classic Titleist. Right. Definitely have a tendency of just not swinging this one as well, for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just a rubbish strike, again. Yeah, like really low in the head. Again, that's just so similar, isn't it? Again, we see a miss hit, efficiency 143, spin comes up quite a lot more on that one actually, to be fair. It was slightly lower, 14 mil, versus the one earlier with the TSR, which I believe was 8 mil low. So the lower it is, the more we're going to expect that spin to creep up. So maybe marginally better on the TSR, but that was slightly lower. Let's see if we can actually hit a bit of a better one. Would be ideal. That was rubbish. Go. That was high heel, which is typically not a very good place to... Oh, it wasn't high. Oh, okay, just heel. Felt high. Really felt high. Again, it just does not punish you, this driver. And this is like the player's kind of driver. It always kind of baffled me that a lot of people said, I can't play a TSi3. Like, it's unbelievable. So forgiving. All right, come on. Let's get a good one. That was also not very good. People have been watching this kind of like, what are you talking about? It's carried 300 yards dead straight. Just didn't, I don't know, it felt just a little bit high on the face. 2 mil high. Yeah. Again, so we see tiny bit high, slightly the efficiency drop sometimes. I mean, 2 mil, that's pretty harsh, right? But it felt high. 144, 165, 15 launch, 23 spin, 299 carry. Fantastic. Well, I haven't seen any 146s yet out of the TSI, which we have out of the TSR, in all fairness. Oh, there we go. That felt nice. Just, oh, it spins up, doesn't it? I mean, I'm getting a little bit under it, hitting up quite a bit now. 6.4, right? What a strike though, 144 efficiency. I haven't seen any 146s, or I don't think many 145s with this. Do you have with the TSR? Right, one more with this. And let's jump back into TSR. But realistically, feel-wise, I mean, there's not loads there. Maybe I'm losing my touch. That was rubbish. Really going to test this TSI today, that's for sure. That is 100% my strike miss. But again, we see the efficiency doesn't really drop. The spin comes up to 33. It's going to be really interesting to dive through the data in detail and kind of see, because we're going to have a lot of miss hits with both. See which one actually does kind of retain the spin a bit better. Going to have to hit one more with the TSI. Can't end on that. It was still heely. Like, I just can't not hit this thing heely. It's a phenomenal drive for a heel strike, but yeah, really good numbers. Like it. Yeah, again, a little bit low heel. 143 efficiency, like we've seen. Really good launch and spin. Just good, isn't it? Straight back into TSR3 now. It does look very, very slightly different, but I can't even put my finger on what it is, if I'm brutally honest with you. I really can't. See if we keep hitting this one as Healy. Oh, wow, that was bad. I mean, the strike actually felt okay, I just got underneath it. But again, I really got away with that. Really got away with that. Yeah, strike was pretty good. Just kind of felt like it was going to go way right that one. Like I really felt like I got a little bit too much that way on it. It's just 26 yards offline. I mean, it's nothing for me. Like, might be in a little bit of trouble on a really tight hole, but that is not a long way offline at all. Again, that was low heel. Really testing the low heel out on these today. They're both just so good. It's going to be so hard to really pip them apart. Yeah, low heel. Again, we see that spin come up to 29. So efficiency still at 143. So typically very similar to TSI, we did see on a slightly low, slightly heel strike 143 as well. So that efficiency is fairly similar. Spin at 29. Are we 12 mil heel, 8 mil low? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. It's tough, isn't it? It is tough. It is tough. At least I'm really giving them a good test. I did say this was going to be in depth and detail. Come on. That's left. Ooh, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Turned it a bit, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Just that release go a little bit earlier on that one. Yeah, I got that face a little bit closed. Yeah, I mean, at 42 left, that's probably in trouble on a lot of holes, I must say. Oh man, it's going to be so interesting to dive into these numbers at the end of this. It really, really is. Because from just hitting, that's why I'm showing you so many shots. It's tough. It is tough. They both feel good, look great. That felt good. Again, a little left, but strike felt really good. Yeah, good numbers. Good numbers. Just getting a little bit more out to in, and my habit is always closing the face. When I start to get a bit out to in, it's not great because I tend to get that face closed down and end up hitting pull draws. Oh man, this is going to be tight. I'm going to hit one more with this. One more. Yeah, that was nice. Go! Go! Oh, just fell short. I mean, man, that was good. That was good. 13 knot. Like the spin off low strikes is actually quite impressive. I think we saw a couple of that last time with the TSR, a little bit low. Spins at 22. Again, 18 yards offline, taking it any day of the week. 300 carry, 145 efficiency. Just can't grumble. Right, back TSI. I'm just going to show you a few more with this. Again, this shows you how in depth it really is. I don't normally show this many shots for obvious reasons. It's so good for you to see literally every shot, every strike, how the numbers react, what the shot does. Don't know. I thought I was going to go a little left on that, but it didn't. That's really good. That did really well. Wow. That didn't feel that great. 168 ball speed. There we go. 146 efficiency, a little low in the head. Again, that is almost identical to that last one I just hit with the TSR. Let me just have a quick look at that. Yeah, I mean, it was literally a couple of mil apart. And launch and spin fairly similar. Ball speed actually got a little bit more at TSI. And both carried within 1 yard of each other. So there you go. Very similar shots. But there, I was surprised at that result. That did unbelievably well. 1.5 out to him, 1.6 closed, and we only ended up 21 yards offline. That's, this thing is, it's a straight driver, it really is. A little bit heely, yeah, standard miss today, but again, absolutely fine. Really don't mind that miss. I mean, it's probably spin up a little bit. Again, was that 144 efficiency? Yeah, and it's a little slightly low heel. Again, I mean, it's just a similar thing, right? We see the spin come up, 27. It's always been around 27 to 29 with that slight low heel strike. 144 efficiency out of that strike. Right, what I'm going to do for the last two, I'm just going to go at them. 2 with the TSI, 2 with the TSR. Just give it a little bit more beans. Let's just see what happens with them. Strike actually felt all right. It's a little low. That is going to spin. But again, it's actually fine. Ball speed 169, swing 118. Yeah, a little low in the head, just spins up to 3,000. Again, it's all right. It's a funny thing about going at it a little bit though. So we see the swing speed pop up, ball speed pop up, but we actually probably lost distance on average because it just didn't strike it very well and it spun up. Right, one more a little bit harder with this. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Carry. Oh, that is big. Wow. There we go. That was ripped. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Still actually a little bit low. But 118 club, 170 ball, 144 efficiency, 14 launch, 21 backspin, 311 carry, rolling out to 340. Like I said, good luck TSR. Right, TSR3, going at it. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to get another one like that to you, which is probably going to be a bit unfair on the TSR because that was just perfect. That swing, the strike, the shape, everything was just unreal. That's a miss hit. Wow, it's done well. So well. It's just low neck. The low necks on these drivers are just ridiculous. Honestly, ridiculous. Look at that, 315. How many yards offline? 4 yards offline. Just honestly phenomenal drivers. Like Titleist have smashed everything for a while, I think. Drivers, woods, hybrids are fantastic. The irons are great. Obviously Vokeys. You got Scotties and whatnot as well if you really want to finish off the bag. Phenomenal. Right, come on, let's try and hit a good one. I'll tell you what, that was pretty good. Just a bit further left. And it was actually a little heely. Yeah, 169 ball speed. So there or thereabouts, aren't we? 144 efficiency, yeah. I mean, it's what, 0.2 or 0.3 mile an hour off ball speed, and that was, I just hit it a little bit more heely, that one. But yeah, and spun up a little bit more, so we lost a little bit of carry. Oh, it's close though, wasn't it? It was close. Come on. Oh man, that was rubbish. Letting the TSR down. Letting the TSR down. Right, one more, otherwise I'm going to skew these numbers too much. Yeah, just low. One more. Come on. Oh, again, the strike was good. Yeah, just turned it a little bit, but 170 ball, 145 efficiency. It's probably a tiny bit off the bottom, that one, so maybe spread up a touch. Yeah, that was actually good though. 14 launch, 2000 spin, again 145 efficiency, 170 in club, 170 ball. I mean, yeah, it's like, I can't get much more out of either, can I? So I am going to keep hitting. I'm probably going to get 25 with each. I'm not going to show you anymore because that is 33 shots. It's a lot. This is going to be a long video. So I'll try and get 25 with each. Won't delete any. Obviously, there's that one I deleted, which was horrendous, 250 carry. But we shouldn't get many of those, hopefully. And then numbers time. Okay, so numbers time, that all important performance. And the data behind me is with no shots deleted. Well, one. There was that one which I did say that was horrendous, nearly missed the ball, that I was going to delete. That was the only one I deleted. I hit 20 shots with each, and this is the data behind me. I'm going to do what I always do in my test. So I'm going to show no shots deleted, so it's a good, accurate representation of how the driver is kind of performing across the face, which I definitely tested today, as you saw. There was a lot of low heel strikes in there, which were not great, but performed really well. So these are the averages of those 20 shots. As we can see, TSR on top, TSR on the bottom. So 1656 to 166. So the TSR pipped it by half mile an hour. Again, not much, a little bit there, but not much. Standard deviation was also slightly tighter on the TSR. I actually felt that I just struck the TSR slightly better on average on that. There was probably a couple more low heel, I feel, with the TSI. There you go. Launch, 0.3 in it. Not really much there. Wouldn't expect there to be honest. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when I delete all the bad ones. Spin, we can see that the TSR was down just under 26, so 2570, and then the TSI was just under 27, so 2690. So again, only really about 100 revs in it there, so there's not that much. And again, it'd be interesting to see when I delete any bad ones, because again, I feel like I probably struck the TSI a couple, maybe a little bit more in the low heel, possibly. We'll see. Something that's really interesting, again, is that standard deviation. So 364, 368, that's unbelievably tight, like unreal. So tight for this amount of balls for some human testing. I would normally see it fluctuate more because there's a lot of variation. Again, my strike pattern was pretty consistent. I hit a few low heel with both. Actually, the standard deviation is just, I mean, it just really does go to show how good these drivers are. As I said at the beginning, the TSI3 is unreal, like such a good driver. I think one of the best drivers ever been made. So for the TSR to even pip it marginally would be unreal, to be honest. But standard deviation the same. Carry, 2 yards in it. Again, it was slightly more consistent with the TSR. So across the board, in terms of performance, there's not much there. The TSR was slightly more consistent, I'd say, in terms of the ball speed and in terms of the carry number. But within the spin, pretty similar, to be honest. And from a dispersion perspective, TSI actually probably pipped it, but I think, I'd argue that's more of a strike miss thing. I think I missed, again, more low heel with the TSI, which is always going to create that little peely kind of cut, which again, for me, I don't mind, keeps it in play. And I squared up a couple more with the TSR. But again, I felt like I struck it better. It's going to be interesting to see when I delete the bad ones. On average, it was a little bit more left-sided, but it's the ball data with none deleted. Let's have a quick flick over to the club data. Yeah, so it's on average. Definitely low heel, but actually not, according to this again, I mean, you've got to take this with a little bit of a pinch of salt at times, but according to that, the average strike was pretty much bang on, like not much there. I was just slightly more efficient with the TSR. So it was a little bit more efficient. Like I said, I was seeing that 145, a little bit more, 146 on a couple, which is rare. I think I did see one with TSI, but it was just a little bit more efficient overall, which is fantastic. Swing speed the same, dynamic loft, delivered a touch more with the TSI, but again, it's less than a degree. There's way more variation in me to do that, not really the club. Dynamic lie is actually very interesting. Very interesting, considering, I don't know if the lie angles, these are supposed to be different, but I wouldn't normally see that much difference in terms of delivered dynamic lie, considering same head, same setting, same shaft, same loft, everything was the same. way more toe up with the TSI, which is interesting. I have to find out if that's actually a design feature or not, but that is what I found in this. Again, that might have been better for a person who tended to miss a little bit right, a little bit more toe up, but face angle identical, path identical, angle of attack identical. Actually, from a delivery perspective, that, I mean, even without deleting any, that's ridiculous. Like, my swing is getting pretty consistent, which is nice. Yeah, path, I mean, there's just nothing there, is there? There's absolutely nothing there. The only thing we're really seeing is that the TSR was a little bit more efficient overall, and the dynamic loft was slightly different, and that lies, wow, that's intriguing. But yeah, delivery, same. TSR, slightly more efficient. Let's delete the bad ones. Right, so bad shots deleted, and did we expect anything different? No, probably not. TSI, TSR, 0.1, 0.3, 20 revs, no carry difference. Drivers are different out of the middle and haven't been for a long time. You can see when we left all of the bad ones in, the TSR did slightly edge it, to be fair, but when you hit it out the middle, there's never going to be any difference. Like, they're all ridiculously good out the middle, and they have been for a very, very long time. So yeah, I mean, I don't really need to say much more on that. I think you can make your own mind up. I don't think I need to do this, but as the club data, efficiency, same. Club speed, same. Dynamic loft, still marginally more of TSI, but again, 0.6 of a degree. Dynamic life, still a bit different. That's interesting now. I need to find out if that's actually a design feature or if it's me. Delivery, all within 0.3, 0.4 of a degree. And the average strike, again, actually marginally lower with TSR, but on the whole, I mean, that's just insanely close and pretty much what we expected. So let's sum up. Right, okay, so there we have it, another in-depth test. So let's kind of break this all down and sum it up. Now this is going to be a bit waffly and a bit long as well, I'm sorry. I'll try to do my best to keep it short. So the big question, I guess, is the TSR a phenomenal driver? 100%, no questions asked, unbelievable, will be one of the best drivers of this year, the next 2 years, however long it's out, without a doubt, as the TSI was. And actually, the bigger question, really, in this video is, was it better than the TSI? Or is it better than the TSI? And that's the question. You'd have to say yes, marginally, right? I mean, the problem that Titleist have and will have still moving forward is the TSI was an unbelievable driver and still is an unbelievable driver, right? So the whole kind of idea that with the feedback from a lot of the tour players and staff and kind of the hierarchy within Titleist, I guess, was let's not move the boat too much on this specific driver, the 3, the shape, how it looks, how it feels, all of those kind of things, because it's so good. And it is so good. And trying to make a driver that's better than that is unbelievably hard. The fact that you have to say that it is marginally better, like there's 1 percentiles throughout, looks a little bit nicer, a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek, obviously not really from a shape perspective, but the top, the weight track tweaks are really nice, looks better, it's just more functional. And then obviously within the data, marginally throughout, it was slightly better on the kind of data set where I didn't delete any shots. Maybe it was a little bit more efficient, kind of all those kind of things. So it's all of those all the way throughout. It is a slightly better driver. Is it a massive leap? Like, no, of course not. And like, we didn't expect it to be. Again, because the TSI is just absolutely unreal. It's going to be interesting what they do after that. Again, good luck. Like, where do you go from there? I mean, whew, it's so good. I'm not a golf club engineer. I'll leave that. I'll leave that to them. So I guess, like, would I be rushing out to buy a TSR if I had a well-fitted TSI? Which, again, that's really what it's going to come back to, right? Like, it's fitting now. Like, making sure you're optimized, making sure you have the right launch spin, kind of shaft and head design and kind of setting to offset kind of strike and miss and get fit. But am I really going to rush out to buy a TSR if I have a well-fit TSI? the honest truth to that is it would depend on how much money I've got in the bank. Because I'm a kit nerd, hence why I do this. If I had loads of money in the bank, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would, 100%. Not that I would expect, again, a huge jump. You wouldn't. But if you don't have that money in the bank, then no. And either way, it doesn't really matter. Because genuinely, they are both unbelievable drivers. Like, so good. So there you go. Bit waffly, I'm sure. But throughout, this video has been long, waffly. But I think it's better to just, like, I'm going to show you loads of shots. Like, because you can see as we go through, I talk about what I see, talk about what I feel. You can see the numbers, you can see the strike, you can see the shot patterns, you can see everything. It's not like I'm hiding anything. I want to be as transparent with everything that we do as possible. So you can make up your own mind. And that's how I fit. Super transparent. I'm going to give you this, see what it does. Well, no, actually, that's right there. That was doing this and that, and we can see that from there. I tell you what it is. You make up your own mind. So yes, stay tuned because the bigger kind of videos, the 2 versus the 3 is going to be really, really interesting. Obviously, TSR2 versus TSR3, that's going to be the next one I'm going to film, which I'm really looking forward to doing, to see the differences in those. And I'm going to try and get, they do an 8-degree head in that, which is class, the TSR2. So I need to get an 8-degree 3 and 2. And 4 as well, and review that and put that head-to-head against the 3. It's just, again, there's so much I need to do. So exciting. So yeah, please do stay tuned, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.